It's insane. Trump's economy lost an estimated 50,000 private sector jobs in October. What trajectory is this guy talking about? What is he talking about? Donald Trump, the con man, has been doing some interviews over the course of the last couple of days. And he did an interview with Laura Ingraham. And he's lying to the American people, saying, which shouldn't be a shock to anybody. That's all he does. But I want you to take a listen to this, where Laura Ingraham is asking him about a lot of the voters, even people who supported him, that are a concern. Price of everything going up. Inflation has been on the way up the last 5 months. Gas prices are not on the way down. Mm-hmm. People are losing their jobs. So things are headed in the wrong direction. So this is the point in the interview where Laura Ingraham asks him, are voters just kind of misconceiving how they feel about where the economy is right now? So this is kind of an interesting point where, Laura Ingraham isn't going to give Donald Trump any pushback, but have a listen to this.
The economy was listed as a top concern. I know you know this, for voters in New Jersey, New York, Virginia. And you've been all over the affordability issue today and for the last several months. Eggs, gas, dinner costs for Thanksgiving way down. But other things, as you noted, have gone up. Beef, coffee, auto repairs. Is this a voter perception issue of the economy, or is there more that needs to be done by Republicans on Capitol Hill, or done in terms of policy?
More than anything else, it's a con job by the Democrats. They're saying, they just have to say, they put out something, say today costs are up. They feed it to the anchors of ABC, CBS, and NBC, and a lot of other, and CNN, and et cetera. And it's like a standard. I'll never forget, they had used a word like manufactured. Do you remember the word manufactured? It's a manufactured economy. Nobody uses that word. Every anchor broke the manufactured. They do exactly what they say. It's such a rigged system. So are you ready? Costs are way down. Gasoline is going to be hitting $2 pretty soon, or around $2. Gasoline is at $2.70 now, and it was at $4.50 under Biden, under Sleepy Joe. When gasoline comes down, when energy comes down, and everybody agrees energy's down, we're drilled, drill baby drill. We're going like wild. We produce more gasoline, oil and gas in the last month than we ever have before, by far. And we're going to also end up filling up the national strategic reserves, which were taken out by Biden in order to try and win an election. Didn't work out too well. They tapped in. That's supposed to be for war, for national emergency, not to get.
So are you saying that voters are misperceiving how they feel, or?
So when I took over, you remember?
Because you said Biden did that too, because he was saying things were great, but things weren't great.
It's synonymous, Biden and Kamala, because you didn't know who the hell was campaigning. I mean, it got to a point. So I was up by 20 points on Biden or some crazy number. And they said, all right, let's get him out. We'll put a new one. This never happened to anybody. All of a sudden, I have somebody new. And they had the 6-week honeymoon, which was standard in the world of politics. You get a little honeymoon. And she had her little honeymoon, but then eventually people got to know her, too. And then they had the 60 Minutes catastrophe where they, changed her answer.
Housing costs are...
So basically what Donald Trump is saying, Anna, there is don't believe the price tags you see on things. Trust in Trump. They really don't cost as much as you're being charged. And it's all a con job, and everything is less because of my amazing leadership.
So he's speaking to the base. He can brainwash them all he wants. We know what it costs when we go to the grocery store. We see prices going up every week. Gas is not coming down. Nothing is coming down. Oh, eggs, we don't eat just eggs. What, eggs price a little down? I mean, and what was she saying, that the dinner for Thanksgiving, the costs are way down? That is incorrect. First, not everyone shops at Walmart. Second, their basket last year was 22 items. This year is 15.
Correct.
And it's not brand name, it's their generic brand.
I'm glad you brought that up, because they won't bring that up.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. His undermined supporters, like not, the base is going to be with him till he, kicks the bucket.
And by the way, we'll get into this a little bit more, but Trump's economy lost an estimated 50,000 private sector jobs in October. I noticed Laura Ingraham's not asking him about that. But here's Donald Trump, again, saying that the economy is as strong as it's ever been. Have a listen to this.
But even with interest rates up, the economy is the strongest it's ever been. You asked me, just to go back to the beginning of your question, you talked about prices. We're down on energy. We're down on interest rate. You know, interest rates are down despite the Fed. Now, if we had a normal person at the Fed, would have really low interest rates, and we will soon have that. We'll have somebody that's.
And why are people saying they're anxious about the economy? Why are they saying that?
I don't know that they are saying. I think polls are fake. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We will have over $20 trillion come into our economy, and it's largely because of my election, but it's also largely because of tariffs.
So what people are saying, I don't know why they're saying that. I think the polls are fake. It's only fake when it doesn't look good for Donald Trump and then he fires people. But if the polls make him look good, oh, the polls are great. I mean, it's so ridiculous how any fool, and that's what you are. You're a fool if you believe anything this guy says.
Well, it's the art of repeat. He understands that because the more he repeats, the more MAGA repeats. Like if you ever comment on any thread, they'll come underneath and say, everything, you're lying, everything is cheaper, everything is great and wonderful. I mean,
I like it how
brainwashed.
I like it how Laura Ingraham even has to interject. Like when Laura Ingraham has to give you a little bit of pushback, you know things aren't going well. So Laura Ingram's basically saying, well, wait a second. Are you saying all those people out there that are feeling it, are they wrong, Mr. President? It's like even Laura Ingraham knows he's full of crap. And then there comes Hassett. And Hassett in Trump's cabinet is one of the biggest two-faced fools, I almost said the other F word, that you can find in the Trump administration. There's plenty of them. I want you to listen to this exchange with Quintanilla on another right-wing network where he's talking about how prices are going down and everything's going down. And then the right-wing commentator fact checks him and says, well, wait a second. Inflation has been up for the last 5 months. It's been going up. And listen to his response. It's mesmerizing.
The reopening, Goldman today says the reopening does raise the prospect of some reflation, plus a tailwind from tax season, obviously depreciation and the bill's effects. Do you think fighting or getting disinflation in the first half is going to be a little more of a challenge than it has been?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, right, the last CPI report surprised almost all the Wall Street analysts, 48 of them on the downside, meaning it was good news on inflation. And that number itself was inflated because there was a bunch of refineries shut down, if you're looking at the top line. And so we're comfortable that inflation has come way down, the 5% on average for Joe Biden. It's probably a little less than half of that right now. And the trajectory is really, really, really good if you look at it. And inflation is one of those things that has a lot of momentum if you look at the charts. And the momentum right now is headed really towards the Fed's target.
Even though it's been increasing for 5 straight months as of September?
Well, I guess if you look at it from January, there's ups and downs and seasonals. But yeah, it was surprised on the downside. People were expecting it to accelerate and it didn't. And I think that is because this growth that we're getting is not from like printing a massive amount of government debt and sending checks to people like Joe Biden did.
Wait a second. So you just said we're on a great trajectory, even though prices have been going up and inflation is up since January? Well, I mean, that might be true, but, there's ups and downs. I mean,
these people are on drugs.
It's
not
insane.
normal.
It's insane. Trump's economy lost an estimated 50,000 private sector jobs in October. What trajectory is this guy talking about? What is he talking about?
No one calls them out. They say all this nonsense, and people are like, okay.
It's getting to the point that even these right-wing anchors have to call them out a little bit. But wait a second. You're saying we're on the right trajectory, but inflation has been going up every single month since January. Laura Ingraham, well, wait, Mr. President, are you saying the voters are misperceiving how they feel? Like, even right-wingers out there on these networks are trying to correct these buffoons who lie to the American people every single day.
It's going to get to... I feel like they're talking about their personal life. It's going up. They're thinking something down there is going up.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
It has to be because, I mean, it's unbelievable. Like we're laughing. It's comical, but it's painful at the same time because we know it's not true.
I agree, but there are brainwashed people who are still huge Donald Trump supporters in this country that believe what these people say. They watch their Newsmax and their OAN, and they believe what these people are saying. When Donald Trump says, oh, the economy's great and things are headed in the right direction, these people could lose their jobs, these people could lose their food stamps and their Medicaid, and they still will believe what Donald Trump says, and they'll blame it on Biden.
And they pretend there's no one on Snap in MAGA. They pretend, they say, oh, we don't need a handout. We work. We're wealthy. We saw the rallies. Okay, you don't have, I'm not going to say